Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm bringing you 3 different types of crafts. These are all thrifted makeovers, items that I picked up at the thrift store to upcycle them for my Christmas decor. So without further ado, let's get started. First one that I'm working on came from Value Village, and a friend actually dropped it off. She picked it up, thought of me when she saw it, and knew I could do something with it to make it look a little bit more beautiful. The eyes on this thing were a little bit freaking me out, so I did remove them, as well as this pom-pom that was stuck on here forever. I could not get this off whatsoever. It struggled for a bit. I used a butter knife to try and get it off, but I was afraid I was gonna cut my finger with the butter knife. But these shears seem to work a little bit better. They're like the metal cutting shears, but I more or less use them as a just to grab on to the pom-pom. So I wanted to say thank you so much for pressing play and watching this video. If you are stopping by for the very first time, my name is Sonja, and over in this channel I share lots of different types of DIYs, seasonal as well as home makeover DIYs, furniture makeovers, and just DIYs in general. So if this is something that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you get notified when the new videos pop up. So once I removed it, I took a sanding block and just sanded the little bit of glue that was left on it. I do feel that I need to get a new sanding block because the sanding part on it was almost worn out. I did have to use a little bit of a craft knife just to scrape some of it off. Now I was going to dilute my Annie Sloan chalk paint and use it as a stain, but then I remembered that I did purchase this chalk paint at Dollar Tree and remembered how watery it was. So that is what I used, and I just poured directly on it for the first part, spread it out, and then I took a rag and just rubbed it off. And I repeated this process several times. I wanted to make sure that all the areas were not evenly covered up, but nicely covered up. I love doing this type of staining. It just gives it a bit of a different look, I guess, than actually using a stain. Similar look, but there is a bit of a difference. So I did this to the whole deer. It was nice that I could take it apart and do this. It would have been a little bit harder if I was all put together and glued together, because then I wouldn't be able to get into all the crevices. This is messy, so be prepared to get your hands dirty or wear gloves if you don't like to get your hands dirty. I don't love wearing gloves. I wish I did, because I'm always have black nails from paint or whatever paint I'm using that's on my nails, and sometimes it's harder to take off. But I just don't love the way the nails feel. So I just, like I said, kept doing this until I reached the desired look I was going for. So here it is, the whole piece painted or stained, and now I wanted to give him a little bit of decoration around his neck. So I had a piece of jute rope that I tied around like a nautical rope, and then I dug through my Christmas stash and found a little greenery and berry and pinecone decoration. That this actually came off of my old wreath, as well as a little jingle bell that I was going to tie around it with just a piece of twine. I think this just gave him a little bit of decoration because he was very, very simple, but I kind of like how simple he looked. Did not love the eyes, so glad I removed those. And I didn't love the red pom-pom for a nose. I think the deer was cute at one point, but we wanted to give him a bit of a more sophisticated look. I think he's going to look really good on my front porch. So once I tied this up, I did add a little bit of glue just to hold everything in place. For my next DIY, I picked up these bells. Now, to me, these bells looked fairly new. I have not seen them around here anywhere, but I've seen them online at Walmart, so I'm not sure whether that's where these guys came from. And I just wanted to give them a little bit of a gold color, since that was all the bells in my house were kind of a goldish color. So I tried painting them just with the paint, acrylic paint, and I use spun gold for this. But I did find that the coverage wasn't quite what I was hoping for. So I put one coat of this, just a light coat of just paint on its own. And then for the second coat, once they had time to dry, I added a little bit of baking soda to my paint and painted them with that. That gave it a little bit of texture, but I was still leaving some of that dark bronze to kind of look poke through in certain areas. So for the other two, I just went directly with a thicker paint. I just felt that that worked a little bit better, and there wasn't need to do two coats. Once they were dry, to add them to my banister, I just used some twine and tied it up. For my next DIY, I'm using these little hooks because I'm going to be attaching them to these things, and this is a foot. I assume it's a furniture foot. It was an odd piece at a thrift store, so I decided to turn it into an ornament, kind of like a finial ornament. I love these. I've seen them at Walmart. I think my Texas house has maybe a little bit bigger ones, but or my Texas home. I really like this. You could also use spindles. If you have spindles on hand, you can sand them down or paint them and hang them up. Use them as ornaments as well. I think that would work out well too. So I just I really liked the natural color, so I did not touch it. You could obviously stain it, paint it, or do whatever you want. Because my front tree in my house, and if you had missed my home tour or any of my decorating videos over on my home channel, make sure you check them out. The link to my home channel is in the description box. But I liked using I like the fact that it was natural wood, because that's the kind of the direction that I want that tree at the front to go, a more of a rustic natural look. So I've been slowly switching out ornaments on there. It's a 9-foot tree, so it is a pretty expensive thing to do, to switch out all the ornaments. So I've been doing it slowly, making some and things like that. So I think this ornament's gonna look really good there. So there was a hole there, so I put through the rope. Originally I was thinking of using the S-hook, but I've decided this might be a little bit of an easier way. So I put a little bit of glue into the hole, and then I made a loop, tied a loop with the rope, and then I pushed the one end of the loop in there, and then I glued it, and then I put some wood glue, threaded it through the little dowel on top, or whatever that's called, and then I put a little bit more hot glue just to hold it in place while the wood glue takes time to cure. You don't want to obviously hang this up right away. You want to let it sit and wait, and that's it. I love the way this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching.